Let me ask you a question. How many routines have you created that work perfectly until life happened? You wrote everything down, you created a schedule, you bought the planner, you set the alarms. You told yourself that this time you were going to stay organized, get ahead, and finally be consistent. Then someone needed you. A meeting ran late, you didn't sleep well, an unexpected expense came up. Y'all know how that go. You woke up without any energy and the day was just off. One task took twice as long as you planned, and suddenly the entire routine was off. Instead of adjusting the plan, you judged yourself. You decided you're not disciplined enough, organized enough, not committed enough. But what if you were never the problem? What if the routine failed because it was built for a version of your life that doesn't actually exist? Today, we are going to create a routine that makes room for your responsibilities, your priorities, your energy, and the reality that every day will not go according to plan. Hey, and welcome to Life According to Cree podcast. And you're now tuned in to the Sunday LYF Check. I am your host, Cree Cole, and today's episode is how to create a routine that works in real life. We've been examining the people, routines, resources, boundaries, and systems that surround us. We've talked about recognizing real support, communicating our needs, sharing responsibility, delegating tasks, and releasing what doesn't belong to us. Today, we are turning our attention directly to our routines. This is going to be a step-by-step conversation because I don't want to finish this episode with another list of things to do or things you should be doing. I want to finish with a foundation for a weekly routine you can actually use. Not a perfect routine, not an impressive routine. We are building a routine that works with the life that we are living right now. Now, in our previous episode, you don't have to do everything alone. We talked about the pressure of always being the dependable one. We discussed how being capable of handling something doesn't automatically make it your responsibility. Your action was to create 3 lists: share, delegate, and release. You identify responsibilities that should be shared, tasks that could be handled by someone else, and expectations or commitments that may no longer have space in your life. And that's okay. That exercise was important because you cannot create a supportive routine if your schedule is still filled with responsibilities you shouldn't be carrying. Sometimes we believe that we have a time management problem when we actually have a boundary problem. Sometimes we don't need to plan better. We need to plan fewer unnecessary commitments. Sometimes the schedule is not too full because we are disorganized. It's too full because we say yes to more than our time and energy could reasonably sustain. Before we build today's routine, remember, the goal is not to find a more efficient way to overextend yourself. The goal is to create a weekly rhythm that supports your responsibilities without requiring you to ignore your own needs. A lot of routines are created around real ideal conditions. They assume we will wake up on time every morning, sleep well every night, every task will take exactly as long as we planned. They assume that we won't have any interruptions, no emergencies, delays, emotional days, or unexpected responsibilities. They also assume that we will have the same amount of energy every single day. That ain't real life. Let's be honest. Real life changes. Some weeks are calm. Other weeks feel as though everything is happening all at once. Some mornings you wake up ready to move, and other mornings you just can't seem to get yourself together. Some days you can complete 10 tasks, 10, without feeling overwhelmed. And other days, completing one important task feels impossible. A supportive routine has more room and makes more room for those differences. I'll be honest with y'all. Before in December of 2025, I created a list of all the things that I wanted to do, all the things that I wanted to resume doing, all the new things I wanted to do to build off of that, things that I wanted to change about myself, and how I was going to make those changes. And if gauging on a scale of 1 to 100, like how much effort I've actually put into those tasks as a whole, I probably exerted about 25% of what I can actually give, what I actually have time for. And that's a lot. Because, like, if the plan, let's just say, was to wake up at 5 in the morning, exercise, journal, meditate, prepare breakfast, answer emails, and begin work by 9, I assume that only completing 2 things means I haven't been productive. Like, I'll sit there and go, okay, I had this, and this plan. I figured out that I had this amount of time. Let me say something. If I could show you that walking pad I got over there, I purchased a walking pad from Amazon back in January for my birthday. Well, that was one of my birthday gifts to myself. Not the only gift to myself, but that was one of the birthday gifts to myself. Let me tell y'all something. I have probably walked on that walking pad maybe 12 times. I know it's been 12 because I was keeping track in a little notebook of the days that I did it, right? I know it's been 12. And my plan, my original plan was after I got off work at 5:30, getting some stuff together as far as my family's concerned, taking care of a couple of LYF things, and then by 10 o'clock, walking on the walking pad, doing it for an hour and a half. That puts me taking a shower, getting into bed by 12, yada, 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 yada. Yeah. That didn't happen. So then I decided that I was going to change it because I do not start work until 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I was like, yo, like you get up every morning between 8:30 and 8:45 to clock in at 9. What if you got up at 7:30, got up, walked till 8:30, jumped in the shower, got yourself prepared for the day, slipped on some actual clothes because I do try to purpose myself to get dressed every single day. I try to anyway. You get by 9 o'clock, you will be done exercise, you will be refreshed, etc. So let me say something. I have not walked on that walking pad not a single morning. Not one since I made that plan. I didn't account for the fact that I have insomnia, clinically diagnosed insomnia. Not insomnia because of this right now. No, 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 no. Real insomnia. Didn't take that. So didn't take into account that a lot of times I just be up really, really late doing things just like this. Because my 9 to 5 hours are just that. They are 9 to 5. They have to be dedicated to what I'm doing from 9 to 5. My 5 to 9 hours tend to extend from 5 to the wee hours of the morning, which makes it pretty hard to be up every morning between 7:30, exercise for an hour and a half, take a shower, get something to eat, make my coffee, and be seated at my desk in order to give my 9 to 5 what it needs, Monday through Friday. It's just not going to happen. A lot of times we ignore the fact that we may have gone to bed late because we were handling a family responsibility. We ignore the fact that our bodies may need rest. We ignore the fact that our mornings may include children, caregiving, commuting, medication, pain, or other responsibilities. Then we compare our lives to routines created under different circumstances. A routine is not supposed to punish you for being human. It's supposed to help you remember what matters, reduce unnecessary decisions, and in most cases, provide direction when life feels real, real busy. A good routine should answer these 3 questions, right? These 3. What needs my attention? What can I realistically give attention to? What support do I need to follow through? If your routine cannot answer those questions without exhausting you, it may need to be adjusted. First thing that we have to learn to do is to build around anchors, not every minute. An anchor is something that gives you your day or week structure. Some anchors are fixed commitments. These may include your work schedule, like mine, appointments, classes, school drop offs, medication times, caregiving responsibilities, recording sessions, and standing meetings. Other anchors are personal practices that help you feel grounded. These may include a morning coffee, prayer, journaling, exercise, quiet time, preparing for the next day, or going to bed at a consistent time. Your anchors create the framework. When we try to plan every minute, one delay, the entire day is shot shit. It's ruined. It's ruined. If you plan to answer emails from 9 to 9:30, but a phone call lasted until 9:20, you may spend more time trying to catch up than you do actually adjusting the schedule. Instead of assigning a specific task for a precise time, try using flexible blocks. You might have a morning work block, an afternoon responsibility block, and an evening wind down block. Within each block, identify the most important things that need your attention. This gives you direction while creating the expectation that every part of the day must happen at the exact time. That eliminates that. Mhm. For example, your morning anchor might be getting the children off to school or arriving to work. Your afternoon anchor might be a standing appointment or picking someone up. Your evening anchor might be preparing dinner or getting ready for the next day. Once you identify those anchors, I promise you, I promise you, you can decide where flexibility tasks can fit. The routine becomes a guide instead of a countdown clock. This is especially important if your days are unpredictable. You may not be able to control the exact hour when something gets done, but you may be able to identify the part of the day when you are most likely to have the time and the energy to do it. An anchor based routine says, there are parts of my day that need consistency, and these are the areas where I can remain flexible. That again is gentle structure. It gives you a it gives your week shape without expecting every day to look exactly the same. The second step is planning according to your actual capacity. Planning according to your actual capacity. Not what you want your capacity to be, not what you've seen her capacity be, not what someone else suggested to you. You should be able to get done. What is your actual capacity? Capacity is not about time. Let me repeat. Capacity is not about time. It also includes your physical energy, emotional energy, mental focus, financial resources, and access to the support we've been talking about the other 2 weeks. You may have space in your calendar, say, but emotionally, you may need to use that space to recover from the rest of your day. You may need that space in order to recover for something personal that's going on in your life, despite you having things that need to get done professionally. You may be able to squeeze in one more commitment, but doing so may remove the opportunity for you to have rest. This is where we have to stop treating every open space on the calendar as if we are available. This is where we have to start really paying attention to and making a point that some space needs to remain open. Some time needs to be used to rest. Some evenings do not need another task. Some weekends, you don't necessarily have to be at the event. You don't have to be there. You very well may not have the capacity for that. Your routine should reflect what you can consistently carry without running yourself into the ground. When you plan your work week, ask yourself, what does this week already require of me? Which days are likely to require more energy? Where do I need to recover time? And if you need to pause it for a second, because this is the education night, so we should already have our. Oh, am I going to have to remind y'all to get y'all journals and have y'all journals ready, your pen and your paper? Am I going to do that? I shouldn't have to do that. Also, ask yourself, what support will I have available? What can wait if the week becomes heavier than expected? These questions can help you plan honestly. And it takes for you to be actually honest with yourself. When you're invited somewhere or you're asked to do a task, it's not paramount that you say yes or no immediately. Letting people know that you're going to have to get back with them or you're going to have to look into a couple of things, you know, in order to see if you have the flexibility to get it done, should not be an insult. Now, I'll go ahead and say it. If that comes off as an insult to some in your spaces, you might need to go back to week 2 and reevaluate some of the people in your spaces. If Tuesday is already filled with meetings and appointments, Tuesday evening may not be the best time to schedule a difficult task. If you know Thursday will emotionally be demanding, you may want to keep Friday morning light. You know what I'm saying? If if Sunday is your day without scheduled responsibilities, filling the entire day with errands may leave you beginning the week without getting any rest. A realistic routine entails paying attention to the relationship between your responsibilities and your energy. It also limits the number of priorities you assign to one day. Everything can't be the focus of the day. Everything can't be the number one thing to get done. I don't care what it is. Everything can't be number one at the top of the priority list. You may also choose 2 smaller tasks, but identify the one thing that needs the most attention. This doesn't mean that you can't accomplish more. It simply means you are deciding what must not be lost if the day changes. A supportive routine makes it easier to recognize what matters the most. It should not place 20 tasks in front of you and then make you feel guilty for only completing 12. Step. The third step is building flexibility into your routine before you need it. Adding flexibility to your routine before you need it. Flexibility shouldn't be something that you add only after your schedule falls apart. It should already be a part of the plan. Buffer space is unassigned time between responsibilities. It gives you room for tasks that take longer than expected, travel delays, unexpected phone calls, emotional moments, hell, and just ordinary interruptions in life. If you schedule every task back to back, one delay affects everything that comes after that. And there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to pivot and get everything done within that same day. But if you leave room between major responsibilities, you can adjust without feeling as though the entire day has been lost. Another way to create flexibility is by identifying what can move. Some responsibilities must happen on a particular day. Others simply need to be completed sometime during the week. Knowing the difference can reduce unnecessary pressure. For example, an appointment may be fixed, but doing laundry is more flexible. Make sense? A work deadline may be fixed, but grocery shopping could happen any of those other days. For me, recording an episode is fixed. It is fixed. But preparing that social media content, baby, a lot of times it's done between the last Sunday and the last day of the month. Whatever the last week of the month is. That's usually when it gets done. Because when am I going to do that? When am I going to do that? When everything feels fixed, the schedule becomes rigid. When you know what you can move, you have options. You can also create a workflow block. An overflow block is a small period of time you leave open later in the week for tasks that may have been delayed or may have been interrupted. That keeps you from immediately pushing unfinished work into your personal rest time. If everything goes according to plan and you don't need the overflow block, you can use it to get ahead. You can lay down or do something that you enjoy. Let me tell you something. With me creating the new recording schedule that I have, um had I had I completed all this, if I had completed this task right here, recording this right here, in the time in which I scheduled to get it done, that would have been great. But taking the fact that Friday, Saturday, and Sundays are my overflow time, guess what I'm doing right now? Recording this episode on a Sunday evening. Because this is my overflow time. It's time that's not dedicated to anything. It's time that I blocked off to say, I ain't doing nothing unless I absolutely have to. And it's just that simple. That time does not have to be filled simply because it's available. Flexibility also means being willing to adjust the plan without abandoning it. If Monday did not go as expected, you don't have to declare the entire week a failure. You can look at what remains, decide what still matters, move what can be moved, and continue on. A routine works with real life when you allow things to happen naturally and you're forgiving to yourself. It does not demand that you start over every time something changes. I gave y'all a little reminder earlier, but do you got your little journal, your ink pen? Did you download the Sunday LYF Check challenges from lifeaccordingtocree.com? You may have. If you did, you either got it up on your computer or you printed it out. But if you don't, how many of y'all know about Dora? I think the daily notebook would do just fine. Now we are going to build a flexible work routine. And we're going to go through the steps. It's going to be step by step. Okay? We're about to put it into practice. And if you need to pause and come back, baby, this is recorded. It's on 5-6 different platforms. You can go back. You can also go to lifeaccordingtocree.com where the challenges are posted. And these episodes are right there under the blog tab. Not the blog tab, the podcast tab. Good. So, hey, y'all ready? Let's get into it. Now, if you can, take out a piece of paper, your planner, your calendar. Pull up a calendar on your phone if that's what you use, or the note section on your cell phone. Now, if you're watching me on your cell phone, that may be a little difficult. Hence, the handy dandy notebook. We are going to build the foundation for a flexible weekly routine. This is the foundation, okay? I'm gonna give y'all a minute. Get that together. Y'all ready? Now, you don't have to complete every detail right now. The goal is to begin creating something that you can review and adjust after this episode. Okay? Y'all ready? Let's get into it. Number one, step one, begin with the responsibilities that must happen at a specific time. Write down your work hours, appointments, classes, school schedules. caregiving responsibilities, meetings, recording times, worship services, medication schedules, anything that cannot be easily moved. Anything that can't be easily moved. These are your anchors, your fixed anchors. Be realistic about the time each commitment requires. If an appointment begins at 2, do not block out the appointment time. Do not only block out that appointment time. Include the time it takes to prepare, travel, wait, return home, and transition into the next responsibility. For example, they said the appointment is at 2. The doctor's office is 45 minutes away. It takes you approximately 30 minutes to get dressed, to go anywhere. 9 to 2 hours, but for you, 30 minutes to go anywhere. So that puts you 115, 245, 140, say 1245. From 1245 to say, give yourself an hour for the appointment, 3, another 45 minutes for the transit, 3:45, another 15 minutes to travel, 4 o'clock. From 12:45, I'm sorry, from 12:45 to 4 o'clock, that is a block. Include the time it takes to prepare, travel, wait, return home, and transition into the next responsibility. If you have a meeting from 10 to 11, but you know you need time afterward to take notes, to mentally reset, include that time. Make it reasonable. Don't do so much. Don't say that after you get off your meeting at 11, you're going to need to go take you an hour nap. Make it reasonable. But factor in the time that it takes, even if it's just to mentally reset. This is where many routines become unrealistic. We plan for an event, but forget the transitions surrounding it. Your life is not only made up of tasks, it also includes the time and energy required to move between them. Step 2, choose your 3 most important priorities for the week. Your 3 most important priorities for the week. Not 15. Choose 3. 3. Okay? These are not necessarily individual tasks. They can be areas of focus. Your priorities might be completing an important work project, preparing content, taking care of a personal matter, spending intentional time with your family, addressing your health, or creating space to rest. Just as an example. Ask yourself, if this week becomes difficult, what do I want to protect? What needs meaningful progress? What will matter more than simply staying busy? Write those 3 priorities down. We give you a minute, we give you a moment. Then look at your fixed commitments and decide where each priority realistically fits. So, this is my list of fixed anchors. Now you and I are going to pick 3 things that we consider a priority. Like I said, not 15, not 20, 3 things. And now in this step, you're going to take those 3 things and find out where they fit within your anchors. Got it? I can't see y'all. Y'all can see me. We're just going to go, yes, I got it. And if you don't got it, just write it down. Just write it down. Do not automatically place every priority into leftover time. Don't do that. Give important work intentional space. If something matters, it should always receive whatever energy remains after everyone and everything else is handled. Y'all got it? Let's move on along to step 3. Now for step 3, now we're going to add your personal anchors. We're going to add your personal anchors. The first list was professional. These are personal. Now, this may include meals, movement, prayer, journaling, quiet time, therapy, time outdoors, or just preparing for the next day. These practices are not rewards you earn after completing everything else, okay? It's not like ooh, I got this done, so now I can do this. No, 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 no. They are a part of the system that helps you carry your life. Be careful not to turn personal care into another unrealistic checklist. You don't need to elaborate morning routine in 10 quiet minutes helps you feel grounded. Like, you just don't. You don't need a 2-hour evening routine if preparing your clothes, checking tomorrow's calendar, and turning off your phone 30 minutes before bed gives you the support that you need. Choose personal anchors that are useful and realistic. Take the time to ask yourself, what helps me begin the day with direction? What helps me transition out of work mode? What helps me recover easier? And what's going to make tomorrow easier? Your answers will help you identify small practices that are worth repeating. Now, for step 4, I want you to look at the tasks that need to happen but do not require an exact time. Group similar tasks together. Now, you might have an administrative block for emails, paperwork, scheduling, phone calls, a household block for laundry, cleaning, meal preparation, and errands. You may have a creative block, like I do, for writing, recording, planning, and designing. A personal block for appointments, exercise, reflection, or rest. And a connection block for time with family, friendships, and community involvement. Grouping tasks reduces the amount of energy you spend constantly switching between different types of work and different types of responsibilities. You don't have to assign every block of every day. I repeat, you do not have to assign every block of every day. Choose the days that make sense for your life. Maybe Monday morning is best for planning. Tuesday afternoon, good time for you to get creative. Wednesday is when you handle your appointments and errands. Maybe Friday includes, an administrative block to close out the week. Your routine doesn't have to look like anyone else's routine. Like, for instance, historically, my mother has paid her bills on Friday morning. Now, in the year of our Lord 2026, Miss Shirley C has gotten real good with going online, paying through her apps, calling it. So the traveling from place to place don't really happen. But baby, back in them 80s and 90s, before we had all these apps and things, we could go ahead and pay our bills, and they wouldn't really take a phone calls to pay a bill either, sweetheart. Friday morning, Shirley got up out the bed, did a little light cleaning, got us all in the car, especially in the summer sun, got us all in the car, went on and handled and took care of her business. So it's something that I watched growing up. So it's something that is instilled in me. If it only needs to support what you are responsible for and what matters to you. Because see, I think I need to make this point before we go on to step 5. This is a schedule for you. This isn't a schedule for other people. We have not discussed other people yet. We haven't discussed what other people need yet. You want to know why? Because this schedule is about you and you alone, and creating space for you to get what you need to get done. Mm-hmm. Let's move on to step 5. You're going to have to leave yourself some breathing room. You're gonna have to leave yourself some breathing room. And if we're at step 5 and you're saying to yourself, I don't see where I can have any leaving room, you need to go back to last week. Probably some things that you needed to release that you have not released yet, and you're saying they're a priority when they're not a priority for you. They're a priority for somebody else or something else that you could delegate to somebody else. Don't just stop this video right here and go back. Go back to your challenge for last week. Some people are gone, as you should be. Do not fill every hour. Leave room around this demanding commitments. Leave room for transitions. Leave room for delays. Leave room for a meal that isn't rushed. Leave room to just sit down. Okay? Leave room to change your mind about what you have the capacity to do. Because that may have been the plan all day long. That could have been the plan. That could have been the plan all month long. We're supposed to get up at 5, but it's 2 o'clock and I don't have it. I don't have it to give. This may feel uncomfortable if you're used to measuring productivity by how full your calendar looks. This will mess you up. It'll mess you up. You'll be like, I can't, I just can't do it. But an overload calendar is not proof that you're using your time well. I know that's what a lot of us have conditioned ourselves to believe or been pressured to believe that, especially if you're a corporate girly like me. The more stuff that's on that calendar, when you open up that team's calendar, the more you getting done, the more you're getting done. It is never that. But an overloaded calendar is not proof that you are using your time well. Sometimes it's proof that you haven't made room for your humanity. Choose at least one block of your time during the week that will remain unscheduled. You can decide how you want to use it when you reach it. You don't have to put anything in it. You don't have to dedicate it to anything. Just leave it unscheduled. If something unexpected happens, that time can absorb the disruption. If nothing unexpected happens, the space belongs to you. It's yours, as it should be. As it should be. Choose an overflow block. Identify one flexible block later in the week that can be used for unfinished tasks. Like I told y'all, mine is Sunday. Mine is Sunday evening. There are places that I can be on Sunday evening, but taking the fact that I got to clock into the people's job every Monday morning, a lot of times, being out and about really ain't it. So Sunday afternoons between 1 and 10 it's pretty much my overflow block. This overflow block is not an excuse to overbook for the rest of the week. That's why it's step 6 and not in 2 or 3. That is already in place. Now we're here. It's simply a safety net. If a task gets interrupted, you know you have another opportunity to address it. That reduces the pressure to force everything into a day that is no longer going according to plan. If you reach your overflow block and realize the delayed task is no longer important, you can just release it. Everything that gets postponed doesn't automatically deserve a new place on your calendar. Sometimes a delay reveals that the task wasn't as urgent as it originally felt. Our last and final step. Step 7. Review the routine with honesty. Review it with honesty. Ask yourself, does this routine fit the life I actually live or the life that I want? Because I remember one time, I can't remember exactly what the trend was or exactly what the phrase was, but it kind of said like to live for what you want, not for what you have, something to that effect. Because we trying to live We're trying to live. We're trying to live, not be overstressed, not be overworked, not be overloaded so that we can get to the next place. Does this routine fit the life I am actually living? Have I allowed enough time for my responsibilities? Did I include my own needs? Those should have been a priority. Those should have been a priority if you want if you ask me. But hey, where am I expecting too much from myself? Where am I overextending myself? Where do I need support? In week 1 and week 2, we talked about identifying support, what's healthy support, what's unhealthy support, and how to get the type of support that we need. So where do I need support? What can I move if the week changes? If the routine only works when everything goes perfectly, adjust it now. You missed a step. You did not follow directions. Download the workbook so you can have this because, baby, you missed something. You missed something. Remove something, move something, shorten something. Ask yourself, do I need help? And ask for the help. Build in more time. Your routine should not leave you feeling defeated before the week even begins. It should help you see where your time, energy, and attention is going. Okay, so now it's time for the life check question of the week. Take a moment and check in with yourself. First, ask yourself, have I been creating routines for my real life or for an ideal version of my life? Is this really what it is, or is this what I want it to look like? Is this what I want people to believe of me? Hmm? Second, which part of my week are fixed and which responsibilities have I been treating as fixed, even though they can be moved? Third, am I planning according to my actual capacity, or am I filling every available space with a responsibility? You wrote out your schedule. You wrote it out. You did, not me. I ain't suggest nothing. I don't know what you wrote down. I need you to ask yourself, am I actually capable of doing all the things that I wrote down? And did I follow the instructions did I follow instructions 1 through 7? Answer that first. And if the answer is no, go back. And if the answer is yes, are you actually capable of the things that you put down? Fourth, what personal practice helps me feel grounded and deserves a consistent place in my routine? Now, when it comes to that, that can be something that you do for yourself or something that you do with others. It may be family time, might be the time that keeps you grounded. Fifth, where does my schedule need more breathing room? Where does it need more breathing room? Where in my schedule can something be shared, delegated, or released? Hmm? Hmm? And finally, what is one change that I can make this week that would help my routine feel more supportive and less demanding? Sit with those questions for a moment. Because only you know what you wrote down. I don't know what you wrote down, right? Your answers may show you that you need a clearer routine. They may also show you that routine isn't the real issue. You may need a boundary. You may need to ask for help. You may need to reduce the commitment. You may need to stop expecting yourself to function at a full capacity every single day. The purpose of checking in isn't to judge how you've been managing your life. It is to understand what your current life needs from you. A routine should not be another standard you use to prove that you are doing enough. It should not become another reason to criticize yourself. It should not require perfect energy, perfect timing, or perfect circumstances. Your routine should help you remember what matters. It should reduce the number of decisions that you have to make each day. It should protect your time and your priorities. It should most definitely make room for rest, responsibility, connection, and change. Most importantly, it should be adjustable. You are allowed to change a routine that no longer fits. You're allowed to create a different routine for different reasons in different seasons. You're allowed to move a task. You're allowed to leave something unfinished. You're allowed to have a productive day that doesn't look busy from the outside. You're allowed to recognize that rest can be a part of a responsible routine. Gentle structure isn't about lowering every expectation. It's about creating expectations that you can meet without abandoning yourself. You don't need to control every minute of your week. You need enough structure to give you direction and enough flexibility to let you live. So repeat this with me. I give myself permission to create a routine that works with me in my real life. My worth is not measured by how much I complete or how full my schedule appears. I can plan with intention, adjust without guilt, rest without earning it, and return to what matters when life changes. That's it. That's it. Your action for this week is to build your flexible weekly routine. Begin with your fixed commitments. Choose 3 weekly priorities. Add the personal anchors that help you feel grounded. Create flexible task blocks, leaving breathing room and choosing an overflow block for anything that needs to be moved. Then live with the routine for 1 week. 1 week. One. Pay attention to what supports you and what creates unnecessary pressure. Do not call the routine a failure if something needs to change. The adjustment is a part of the process, okay? It's not a failure. That means it needs reevaluation. Reevaluation. Lord, all the vowel sounds in the wrong place. Reevaluation and an adjustment. If you are participating in the August Empower 365 Supportive Systems Challenge or the Life Check Gentle Structure Check-In, visit lifeaccordingtocree.com to follow along. Platform subscribers can access the private interactive workbooks for additional exercises, reflection prompts, and space to create supportive systems for your real lives. Next week, we're going to be talking about how to stay consistent without expecting perfection, okay? For now, just focus on creating a weekly rhythm that you can return to, even when every day does not go according to plan. Remember, loving yourself first isn't about being selfish. It's about loving yourself in a way that allows you to love others better. Thank you for tuning in to the Sunday LYF Check. Again, I am Cree Cole, and I'll see you on Thursday for Cree Said What. Bye.